In the meantime, between time, I think they need to start America over again. I think they need to start America all over again.
We're gonna chase those crazy bullets out of town.
Listen. They need to, I feel like there's a lot of countries that are not perfect, bro. A lot that are not perfect. But in my heart and soul, bro, I feel like America needs to start again. This whole thing is built off stolen land, you know. Blood. Yeah? America is built off blood, bro. Blood today. And now what you're seeing is you're seeing the effects of what was happening many years ago as a conditioning into into today's society and seeing it in a different way. But there's no difference in it, really, when you think about it. I had a conversation with someone one time on the phone and they lightly implied, they tried to otherize the black struggle. But everyone. Fam, it's not the same. It's not the same. We are not safe anywhere. We are not safe anywhere. Even a lot of times in our own home countries. The reason why we're not safe there either is because there's a conditioning. There's a conditioning that has been going back from thousands of years ago and a certain mindset that has been implemented with us. Even with us. We are not safe anywhere. It's not the same. It's not the same, bro. And you've been to America more times than me. Yeah. So your experience, which I'd like to hear even from as a black man, I don't know whether you've dealt with the police or whatnot, but fam, they feel like robots, you know. The police out there feel like robots. They feel like if someone wanted to ask, if a young buck said to me, what is conditioning? What is conditioning? I just take them to America and say, look how the police move. Look at their mindset. Look at how they're dealing with a particular group of people. Look at that. Look how plain, emotionless they seem. Look at them. Look, you don't even have to look far for it. People have put a knee on a man's neck, poet. Man.
Chuckie, this is the problem right now. I've done some real long thinking about this, Chuck. Proper, sat down, a long talk about it. And looked at all the problems that this spurns off when it happened. Because that situation there, obviously, is one of the most horrible things I've ever seen in my life. One of the most horrible, devastating things. As you get an older person, you realise it's not just a young black man dying there. It's apparently, it's a good person within his community. So now it's a person in a community that's died. It's a son that's died. It's a brother that's died. It's a cousin that's died. It's like when you take a look at the amount of roles that one person plays and he's no longer here, it really puts it into context. Then I look at everybody's response, and I can go back to Damiola Taylor and all of this. The responses, the best response is too similar. Go on Channel 4 or BBC News, talk about how bad it is, do some public outrage, and then after 2-3 months, we go back to regular transmission. Now, all I think is the problem here is education. Mm-hmm. We're not educated enough. We find little big fragments, bits of information, and we shout about those things. And we have to stop shouting that this is bad. We all know this is bad. And we need to start shouting about the solution. And I don't know what the solution is, but I think re-educating everybody or re-educating the next generation of people coming into the world is far more important than trying to educate the old guard what they're doing is wrong. I think they know what they're doing is wrong. They just don't care. So now you've got to try and figure out how to decode that person to make them care about a situation that means so much to you. That will take so long. You live it, you know? As black people, we need to understand. I don't even know if we're able to be racist towards white people. Slavery happened for 400 years, I've read, 400 years. You're talking about how long apartheid, all of these things has brought a condition into the black man today. We are wired, all of us are wired a particular way, and our family was wired that way, so they gave us that wiring. It's like when we were, sorry to carry on about it, because
no, keep going, bro. Don't do
when I think of myself as a 13-year-old black boy, how I operated in comparison to my 13-year-old white friends, and then when I went to their home and compared it to my home, it was a complete disparity. Was still, the difference was huge. But then I thought to myself, the white people within England have had, well now anyway, a huge amount of time to set themselves up, so the generations of family going forward are a little bit more organized and structured. Whereas the first black people from Caribbean came here like the 1950s, 1960s. So if we've got any black artists or anything #1 in the charts, we've done this in under 100 years. Like, we should be fucking celebrating and be happy that we've managed to unwire ourselves, to use our struggle for financial gain and for freedom in some capacity. I mean, we'll never really be free, but like, bro, black people need to start looking at themselves as kings. Black people need to start looking at themselves as real influential people that can make serious change, and understand all the qualities that you have that makes you the person you are is a skill. If you are able to communicate to loads of different people throughout whatever you're doing in your life, figure out how that's money in the business world. Because all we need to do is be more influential at a corporate level. When I see all of these situations and these black people dying, I think about all of the people I've let into I've helped come into this world. And I think to myself, how much are you helping our culture? Fuck the music. Just because you work in music, it doesn't mean you know about culture. Just because you're a top DJ within our music and you play a couple black songs, doesn't mean you know about our culture. Just because you're an A&R or record label doesn't mean you contribute or know about our culture. Contributing and knowing about our culture is telling me how this one thing impacts the community and the importance and significance of it. How can we make it grow? And if it's bad, how do we change it? What's the solution to make it right? I'm sorry, I've lived for a little while now. I've seen the situation manifest too many times, and I'm tired of the response. I'm asking for us to re-educate ourselves. I'm asking for us to re-educate the younger generation of people coming through, so they understand when they see this at 15, 16 years old, this is not right. Because the last thing I want is a 30-year-old in however long time, in 15 years time, the 30-year-old at that time, to think this is the way to conduct himself when he has a position in the police authority. How do I stop the next man in power accepting that shit? I'm more worried about that, because I can clearly see, for as long as I've lived, so much black people have died like this and nothing's changed, and bare people are doing stuff. And I'm just thinking, I understand it's going to take a long time. I understand it's, to implement change. But what it's made me realize is all my brothers have been dying for so long, fam, and it hasn't been documented, cuz. Man, I've just been dying, fam. Real life, I've just been dying, cuz. And it's not been documented, fam. All I'm asking people, let's re-educate ourselves. Let's understand how important we are. Let's not just let people into our community and allow them to dictate everything because they do music, or dictate everything because I'm talking about me as well. If I'm doing things in my community that's damaging, fam, let man know, bruv. This is fucked, bruv.
Yeah.
Man, 2 kids, fam, coming into a world where, cuz it's racist. It's the most racist planet I've ever seen in my life, fam. How can I be racist towards a white person, fam? If I'm born into a world where I'm oppressed? Fuck.
Do you know what it is as well, though, bro? The reality is, of course, there is some re-education that we need to do in ourselves, and some unlearning, I would say. I think there's a lot of unlearning that we need to do, but this isn't about us, really. This is about them. And like, this is why I've said so many times, I'm not saying that this is the full solution. I'm not saying it. I don't know what percentage of it is here, but I just genuinely believe that, like, the way that some of these things can stop is when white people stand up for it and say, hold on a minute, yo, you can't do that around me. You can't put your neck on this black man. You can't put your knee on this black man's neck around me. That didn't happen, bruv. 3 other men joined in. And another Don was just standing there. And no one's doing anything. So you know what? Do you know what that shows me? 100 black people on the same wavelength could have been there expressing the same feeling. The outcome doesn't change, because in their mind, they find a way to justify that. Let's look at this woman, yeah? That woman, Amy Cooper, her name is, the woman in Central Park, where she had a dog running around the place. And the man was telling her about the dog or whatever it was, and he filmed her. And she said, I'm going to call the police. He said, go on then. And she said, I'm going to tell them that an African-American man is threatening my life. Can we unpack this? Let's unpack this. I'm going to tell them, I'm going to tell them that an African-American man is threatening my life. When she said that, do you know what she was hoping for? She was hoping for that Don to be George Floyd.
Why?
On the floor with a knee in his neck. She knew the implications of being on the phone by saying an African-American man is threatening my life. She knew that. So now let's dig into her life a little bit. Let's say she has a child now. Because we've already seen incidents of, I don't know if you've seen this, but there was one that went viral of this young kid who said, the mum said, what happened to the cupcakes? And she said, someone stole them. The kid's about 4 years old. Someone stole them. Who stole them? It was a black man. She ate the fucking cakes, bro. So where does she get that from? She gets that from her upbringing and her parents. That she don't just wake up one day and just that. So you have a whole load of people like that, like women like that, men like that have this deep within themselves. They need the unlearning. They need someone who is going to turn around to them and say to them, this mentality is fuckery. And black people are tired of trying to explain to them, yo, this hurts a man's feelings, bruv.
Chuckie, I understand that fight needs to happen now. The question is, we have to ask ourselves, who has to have that fight? I don't no longer think that's the fight I need to fight. I got to look at the position and the role of myself within my community and what can I offer to help my community? Because I can make some real change. And I think the change that I can make is more important than tweeting. But there are some people, that's the only change they can make. So my brother, fucking love that tweet. Thank you. Thank you for showing black people support, because you maybe that's the only change you can make. So go on with your bad self. But you see me and you see some people that are in similar positions to me, we got a different fight. We can't be doing what the same man at the ground level is doing. We have to educate them on what you do when you're at this level. And I don't think we're doing a good job of it. I think the people on ground level are doing a fucking amazing job. They rise up, they do hashtags, they rise up when the situation happens. They tell man, retweet this. You see their job? You see that younger generation, that under 25 generation of rising up them situations on the net? They do their job. I'm asking all the older generation of people, are you doing your job? Because my community is under attack and we're attacking each other. That's why I'm saying to you, I don't know if I want to talk about certain things, because seriously, like my man's got his bust up, fam. Black people are getting, and it's not the first time. It's not the second time. It's not the third time. So what are we doing to try and prevent this? It can't be me talking to them. Them, bro, man.
I don't think it's us. Honestly.
But Chuckie,
do you know what?
Chuckie, I got to think about our group of people. I know they're the enemy. I know they're the enemy. So what am I doing to prepare my people for war? That's what I'm asking.
I think what we have to do. Well, actually, I don't know. Someone. Maybe you tell me what you think about this. But I feel that we have to try.
First of all, anyway, is we don't even know the real reasons that the most educated man looks at that situation. We don't know the reasons why he's angry. He's the most important person in our community. Do you know why?
Who are you talking about?
Whoever that person is. See the reasons why I will explain I'm angry about that situation manifesting with my man getting his head stepped on the floor or killed or what have you by the policeman.
Yeah.
See the way I will explain it, I won't be able to show a complete ignorant bastard why it's wrong. Because the way I will explain it, it will have passion. I'll be angry. I don't think I'll get it through to them. I think somebody on this planet is able to get that message through to them. I want to direct any problems that we have in getting through to that type of individual to someone that can get the message through to them, because I can't, and I don't think a lot of us can.
Enough men are
They're
tired
still
of
killing
doing
us.
it though, man.
So where is the
Tired,
person that can handle the responsibility of communicating that message that it needs to stop, whilst we start educating ourselves on the things that we're doing wrong in our community? So there's loads of fights happening. Now we've got the people on the ground level telling man, yo, you can't do this. At the same time, we've got people within our community educating everyone, which happens, but I think it needs to happen more. Just educating people on slavery, how long it was for, why you're a king, all the life skills that you've got, how important they are, how you can grow your community, working together as a real community and trying to build up this thing. Because, bro, we were in slavery for 400 years. Like, our mentalities must be
longer than that.
longer than that. Bro, longer. We need to stick together. If it's longer than that, bro, if there was ever a time for us to all stick together, if there was ever a time for man to try and help,
I need you to really try to understand what I'm saying in this here. Because
no,
I agree. I don't disagree with you.
It's so bad. I don't know how to convince them to stop being a monster, but I know how to convince someone in my community on to put that thing down there. Let me try and help you get a job. Put that thing down there. Let me try and help.
What it sounds like is, yeah, that like how it could come across is that like that there's a reasoning that has something to do with us that makes them act this way. No, and it's not us. It's not us, bro.
I'm here to tell you that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when these things happen, I haven't got enough power to do what I want to do. So I'm saying to you, the people that have the power to have an impact online, go and do that online so there can be some awareness. The people that have the power to try and educate all of us so we're more equipped for situations, because I can't prepare the devil to deal with what we're dealing with right now. You're the devil, yeah? I don't even want to talk to you. I'm going to sit down with my people and say, look, we got the devil.
I think white people need to use their privilege. That's in a nutshell. That's what I think.
Me asking for that, I don't see how that's going to happen.
No, neither do I. I don't either. I don't see how that's going to happen either. But
of course, but you know what? I tell you what, Jay-Z would never get his head cracked open on that curb. So I'm going to make all my people realize they're kings. I'm going to make sure that people can't walk into our community and do this. What can we do? I don't know. But I think by having them conversations and trying to implement that, we'll find out in like maybe 100 years, maybe not in my lifetime, but we'll find out, because man, we were slaves and we're still fighting each other the way they love. And then they come in our community whilst we're fighting each other and then kill us off or throw us in prison and just separate us even more. They've created division within us, so it's easier to separate us. I'm saying, let's create some more, let's be more solid so we can tackle this devil together. Because tackling this devil right now is really hard.
Well, yeah, I feel like maybe one thing that needs to happen in some way is for black people in particular and people that are on side and I don't know what this is, but do the thing that will make the biggest political impact. I think sometimes, when we resort to violence, which I understand, because sometimes I do believe, sometimes I do, I'm sorry, but sometimes I do believe if you don't hear, you must feel. Sometimes I do believe that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm a human being. That's just how I feel. But, I think, that sometimes when a system is run in a way that doesn't benefit us at all, it ultimately, by acting on violence, then allows the people that run the system to implement laws that affect the minorities. Do you get what I'm saying? So now, before you know it now, you know what I mean, laws like 3 strikes and you're out and Ras Clark, you know, all of these other little things that like they just affect the minorities, which is us in that situation, So I think that like ultimately trying to figure out what the best thing to do to make the political change is the best thing. I don't know. You'd have to speak to someone like maybe a Carlo who can answer them type of questions. But what I also do think as well is that like the reality is we should always be looking to like uplift ourselves, in whichever way that we can. I'm not very good at being on the phone with people who how are always negative about life and always bringing that, like, because a lot of the time when I'm speaking to my brethren on the phone, whether I'm talking to Ben, I'm talking to Wesley, I'm talking to my brethren Mark, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to Prince, whoever, yeah, Tara, all my other brethren, a lot of the conversations that we have a lot of the time are uplifting conversations in some way, shape or form. Do you get what I'm saying? We are uplifting each other, encouraging each other, and catching joke and being stupid, but we're doing that, yeah? So, Of course, I'm for that. But when a system and a mindset has been embedded in people's minds, yeah, for a long period of time, and we live in essentially what is their land, and this is something that is ultimately, you know, these laws and the system sometimes is against us. Like, we can do all of the empowerment that we like, but when a man puts his knee on your neck, yeah, he's gonna kill you. And what is likely to happen is he might lose his job like this Don did, but he ain't going jail. But see that the other way around. See it the other way around. See it the other way around.
Chuckie, you're telling me something I know. Chuckie. No,
I don't want you to think I'm not. I'm just telling you how I feel. I'm not like,
no disrespect, and I don't mean to ridicule you. You're giving me a very simple situation, which at the end of it is you're angry about this. We need to stop them. I'm saying to you this. I'm
trying to give a solution.
I don't think a black person saying don't do this is going to stop them. Do you know why? Because a black person saying let them do this ain't going to convince me. It's a belief. You're asking somebody who is 40 years old to sacrifice their belief. I don't know how to make a 40-year-old who believes in racism sacrifice that. I'm not racist, so I don't even know how to decode that.
I don't either, but I know one thing that would help. Let me
stop you right there. I don't know how to tackle something. So if I don't know how to tackle something, why am I tackling it? To me, that's a rule for
because anything. It affects you. Because it affects you.
No. What affects me much more than being killed by racism is things happening within my community where we're killing each other. So I'm saying to you, if I can't even turn to my peer to help me with racism, I've got an issue because racism has not gone anywhere. Furthermore, racism is so bad, it's conditioned a black man to think anything bad sometimes. Like you've walked into a world of oppression. So you being pissed off after 1 year of living makes sense because you've come into a world of negativity. So how am I going to expect you to be happy? I don't expect you to be happy. So now it's like, fuck, how can I change your world? Even just your little world, just your little community, where I can protect you for like 10 years, educate you, let you understand about the dangers you're going to go into, and then send you into that world well equipped to deal with the dangers. Because in 16 years old, I didn't know how to deal with these dangers. None of my friends knew how to deal with these dangers.
We still don't.
Of course we don't. But by educating us on the dangers, at least when I get there, I'm aware that they were there, and I can just try and find a way to safely navigate through it. We're not like it's fucked for us right now. And the killer is, I reckon generations from us will find out a way of tackling racism more effectively. But until we can find that person that can tackle that, I would rather, look you lot, there's some people on the ground that are letting everyone know we ain't tolerating racism. Let them keep. There's loads of active programs.
No one should be tolerating racism.
No, where there's bare people saying they weren't tolerating it. But we can't just do that. There's loads of other things we need to do. Whitney showed me that fight needs to happen. That fight is actively happening, and I'm fucking happy that fight's happening. But now I'm like, what can I do? That fight's happening. What can I do? I don't just want to join in with that fight. I want to go and do something else. I want to try and help my community a little bit more. So even though I won't be helping I won't see the effects of it today, but at least maybe my children's children might see the effect. I'm thinking so far down the line because that's what the Willie Lynch theory was. A theory that could affect the man, the black man for years. They thought of something that can kill us for years and it's worked. So I need to think of something that can help us for years. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, but fam, I hear a bit of what you're saying. And I do believe that, like, obviously the teaching comes as like the new generation that is coming into the world, because that is, you know, if you can get in their minds earlier, that is
key, bro.
But you know what, like, I don't know, man. I just don't want this to be diverted on a thing of like, you know, about our issues in our community, because ultimately, we do have issues in our community, in that we do. But this situation here, A lot of the issues that we have in our community anyway is stem from all the fuckery from God knows how long anyway.
Oh, then, man.
But
Chuckie, they're smart. They keep fucking up everything we're doing for us to keep thinking about how we can stop them from fucking them up. And then in the time that we're dedicating to fucking like preventing them, we're making ourselves more vulnerable. So I'm saying, let some people fight that fight, but there's another fight that needs to be fought. Let people make sure you can't fuck us up.
But I don't want to talk. Obviously I want to talk about our community and stuff because we do that anyway. But this here is not us. The people that have been antagonized in this situation has got nothing to do with any type of black and black crime, which doesn't exist anyway. It's just crime. Yeah, but like this is about someone who's just going about their business, and the only thing that has got in their way of something that has happened is this. This is the only thing. Nothing to do with community.
It's racism.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm saying to you, it is you, Chuckie, because you've experienced racism. If anybody has experienced racism and they saw that, they were outraged. You can't tell them it's not them. It is you, my brother. You've gone through racism as well. You're hurt. Go and voice your opinion. Let them know, my bro. Speak up. I don't blame you. But guess what? Somebody else that could do something more than that as well, what have you got to do? Don't you just speak up and leave it there. Let that man speak up. That's all he can do right now. What can I do is what I'm thinking.
Bruv, man's been speaking up, bruv. And that's why, at first, you know what? I wasn't even that mad. I was, obviously, my thing is, we need to make the right political change and all of that. That is the idealistic thing to do. Yeah, and looting your own community is not really the best thing to do. But you know what? But listen, let me finish, bro. Let me finish.
They weren't even looting like that. Do you know who started it?
Who?
A police officer. It's all
on looting. All right, cool. Well, whatever. I'm not even trying to. That's not the point that I'm trying to make here. But essentially, what I'm saying is that ultimately, I now can't even be mad when, and I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying in general that like I can't even be mad now when man is saying, you know what? I've tried to politely tell someone the way that you're moving and the things that you're saying upsets me. I've tried to make you understand that your thought process is oppressing people. I've tried to make you do that. I even kneeled. I tried to kneel. I even went out and I kneeled and I tried to stand for something and I tried to do all of that. And then I come outside my yard and I still see situations like this where a man's doing that. I'm vexed now. I'm vexed, innit? And that is one of the reasons why London got mashed up with the Mark Duggan thing. Because, you know, it got to a point where things have been happening for so long. Man, I just fed up, bruv. You know what? I'm going to go out and I'm not condoning it. But it just gets to the point where it's like, you know what? Yes, we know we got our issues. We know that we got things that we need to deal with and we got our address and all of that, yeah? But you lot are treating us like fucking ants. Like,
do you know when you
can't do that, bruv.
Do you know when you get that treatment? From day one.
Exactly, and that's why people
imagine from the first moment you're born into. It's like you're born into a world of racism, systematic racism on your doorstep, racism at football. I just think it's designed to trap you, and I don't want it to trap me.
Exactly, I hear that. You're right.
Let's sit down because they're so smart, and then what they do is they probably promote the videos of outrage just so they can get some more criminals. So when you jump on the roads and you do more, like we can all focus on the death. I don't even know how much man died off the back of that death. So what I'm saying is, cuz it's very easy for them to control our behavior. Kill a black man, everyone goes mad, start smashing up everything.
That's why I said the best political change. That's why I said that.
Yeah, it's a trap. So all I'm saying to people is, I'm not saying don't do what you're doing. I'm just saying, what else can we do? Because this has to stop now. And if it can't stop with a generation that exists, what can we implement where we can slow it down in 100 years' time? Because Willie Lynch thought of a theory that can create all of this madness I see right now. And I'm like, cuz, there's somebody on planet Earth smart enough to think of something to reverse that theory. I don't know who it is, but I trust us to find it. Because this... And
I hear you. I also feel that, like, even using the Willie Lynch theory, which is a good one, like that stops with obviously black people being pissed off and rebelling against it. But it also stops when a man that is privileged stands next to him and says, "You're gonna do what?
No,
You
but
what?
he
You
needs
can't
to,
do that around me.
He
You're
doesn't.
crazy."
But Chuckie, he doesn't know it's bad. These people don't know it's bad. They don't know. Do you know what it is? They recognize
I'll
it.
tell you
my
what,
God.
that woman who said that she's going to ring the police and said that the African American man was threatened, she knew exactly what she was doing.
And do you know what it is? We're not trying, because remember, I'm not trying to find a cure for people that already know. I'm trying to prevent more people from getting that virus, and I'm trying to cure people within that virus. Racism is a virus. So there's no point in me telling everyone, there's this massive virus, and when it happens, oh my God, look what the virus is doing. It's like, what's the cure for this virus? Okay, until we find the cure, we've got to prevent more people from getting it, and then we need to find something we can throw in that community can change. Because I could say to you, we need to find a white person that goes stop racism, but I think what's more powerful than that is when I watch American History X. If you re-educate someone within that world that's very influential, and say to them, cuz, this is what you're doing. If they can go, oh my God, I've got it wrong all along, instead of me trying to get one person to tell 3 people, this man might be able to tell 1,000 people. It happens in our communities all the time. The record label will have a new artist. They're like, how can we get them to be known within that community or be influenced in that community? They do a collaboration with someone, boom, hey presto, all of a sudden we all like him. You can't just get any random black guy. We'll be like, nah, he's not our community. So we need to find a cure so we can get one person in that community, and then hopefully it spreads, and that is the cure over there. But I just don't know what that is.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm on this white unlearning thing though. Do you know what? I saw a video today, yeah, of a brother. He's in London somewhere, right? And he's chilling on his estate. The police roll up, right? And then they say to him, he's filming them. They say to him, do you live here? He says, yes. They said, what are you doing? He said he's chilling with his brethren. Then she asked him again, do you live here? He said, yeah. Then she asked him, have you ever been arrested before? He says, yes. She said, why? He said, he said, why? She said, why? He said, driving. She was like, oh, okay, well, basically, we suspect that there's drug dealing going on around here, and you haven't given me enough evidence to suggest that you live here, so I'm going to do a drug search on you. All right. He says, okay, cool. Right? So now she goes over, she grabs him by the arm, and he says, hold on, like, don't grab me like that. Straight away, let me put the cuffs on. Let me put the cuffs on. It's like, what that is there, what that has explained to me, what has shown to me is that is black fear. The moment that he says, wait, you can't just grab me like, what? Let me put the cuffs on. Let me put the cuffs on. Like, now, you are conditioned to believe that this black skin is dangerous.
But how do we implement...
That's not my problem. That's yours.
No. So how do we implement change there? Because for you to be educated like that, you must have gone somewhere where they told you...
Your parents, your area.
I don't know if it's the parents, because I got to be honest, my parents didn't make me do those things on road. I done it because of some other reason.
Yeah, I shouldn't say that. I'll take that back.
I say, I look at that police force and I'm saying, when you're trained to do something, because remember, from day one, everything is learnt behaviors. Everything is copied. You live in a hood. The house is on one side, the house is on the other side. All you ever taught in school is to learn information, to actively use it on a test day. So all we're ever really, really taught is how to be like the system in society, and all we're taught is how to comply to society. So this woman is like, well, I want to comply to society because she's lived by that whole code her whole life. So when we go to this police thing, they say to her, probably if you see someone is a bit ethnic or a bit black, they usually act a bit out of character. Make sure if they do any of these things, just arrest them or just do this. She's not told to think and to look at the situation uniquely. You know what? Look at that guy. How is he behaving? If that individual behaves under these parameters, this is how you should behave. It's bad learning she's getting. So what I'm saying, we need to go to places where these people are educated incorrectly and make sure we can infiltrate there, because we'll have a stronger impact than jumping on, like, let the Twitter...
They don't want us to do that. I agree with you. You're spot on. They don't want us to do that.
They didn't want us to have flipping Stormzy with #1 records and Dave screaming black. They didn't want us to have So Solid at the Brits. It's not about what they want. If we think of a way, we can do it. We've proven it over the years. They didn't want man to fucking win that race in Germany where he puts his hand up like that with hit. Like, they never want man to do things. But you know what? You can't stop us. You can't stop us having the best footballer in the world at one time. You can't stop us having the most popular musician. You just can't stop us. So what I'm saying to you is, everyone has to realize we are powerful. We just know certain things if we just apply our thought. Because all the things that my mum said to me, I can't do, I'm doing. My mum said to me, oh, you can't go on YouTube and have a job. Guess what, mum? I paid your rent for a year. Guess what, mum? You can probably go on holiday right now if you want. I could send you on holiday yesterday from YouTube. Yeah. So I need to let people know, like, I don't want to tell the younger generation, you can't. I want to tell the younger generation, you can. And I want to try and do it as well. So the younger generation looks at us and says, not only is this not right, but we can think of a solution. Because all these other people are thinking of more ways to get us locked up, more ways to, that's all racism is thinking, more ways to trap us. So if we think of more ways to react to them trapping us, we're going to forever be trapped. When do we think of a way to get out of the trap? That's all I want to know.
We need to think of the best thing that is going to make the biggest political change. And we also need to we need to find ways, or the white people that are on side need to find ways to be in there and teaching the right things. In the meantime, between time, poet, I'm going to go and carry on with my day. But we're tired.